For the first time ever, we have a proper Godzilla show and not a silly animated cartoon like Godzilla 1978 or Godzilla the series, which I think Lily is a fan of. Anyways, yes, the show isn't just about Godzilla, but it's still sure to be a kaiju-filled romp. Join us each week as we dig into the mysteries of Monarch, what they are hiding, what do they know about the Titans, and what are they not telling us? This is the Monarch Files.
Shut up, then.
Shut up.
You don't have to be this serious. For fuck's sake.
For fuck's sake.
Drop the face. It's not that serious.
Shut the fuck up. Hello, on the task force, we have Tom Richards.
What up?
Lily K.
Stop.
And Brandy Brown.
Hello.
And me, Dan Morris.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yay! Oh wow! Okay, I see how it is.
Golf clap.
All right. Welcome to the Monarch Files. So this is a show about Monarch, the Legacy of Monsters, which is an Apple Plus show that will explore the deeper Legendary Monsterverse over the course of 10 episodes. We just got the first 2 episodes dropped today, giving us a solid dose of the mystery and the goings-ons. And we're going to start off the show today talking about our spoiler first impressions of the first 2 episodes. And we're going to start with Tom. What is your first impressions of the first episodes of Monarch?
I enjoyed them enough. There was a few things I was like, I didn't kind of like mess with me. I'm like, this could have been done differently. Not as much big monsters as I thought they would be to like just kick it off, but I'm sure that'll happen later on. But overall, yeah, I enjoyed it enough that I'd want to keep watching it, even though I've only really seen like the Legendary movies and not anything else outside of. So yeah, relatively fun time.
Fair enough. Brandy, how did you feel?
I actually really enjoyed it. There's a lot of like, obviously thinking about how everything ties together. So yeah, whole lot of like drawing lines and like trying to figure shit out. But yeah, it was really interesting how it kind of ties back to the other like Legendary like movies and whatnot. So I enjoyed it.
Lily?
I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. So it genuinely surprised me. I was like, because I'm going to be honest, I was a bit afraid of this series. I was like, I don't know what to think. It came out of nowhere. We got it too quick, and this might be a mess, kind of a thing. And the only thing that convinced me to actually be like, okay, this is probably going to be fine, is Wyatt and Kurt Russell in the main roles. And so far, they didn't disappoint. So I'm already like very much enjoying what they're going for. So looking forward to what comes next.
So it was the Russell boys that hooked you.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, good.
I'm not even going to lie. They are very good. So I was like, oh, yeah, okay, then I'm going to watch this. And also, yes, I am a fan of the animated series. Will always be. I really liked it.
I didn't know there was one until like an hour ago.
Now you know.
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah. The bad American 1998 movie got a bad 1998 animated series.
It wasn't bad.
It was better than the movie. I'll give it that.
I really enjoyed it.
I've seen that one. That one's
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
I watched it every single morning on Saturdays. It was on during the kids' hour here. So I was like,
I watched it too. I definitely watched it because I was that big nerd. I also watched that movie in theaters like 7 times.
Same.
7?
Wait, which one is that?
The 1998 American Roland Emmerich film.
The Matthew Broderick one.
Yeah.
Oh, the one you refused to let me watch?
I didn't refuse to let you watch that.
Well, you told me not to watch it. I haven't watched it.
You can watch it.
I liked it as a kid.
Godzilla is weak. He dies. You're not going to like it.
Okay, yeah, I won't like it.
So Anyways,
But didn't he just look like a big lizard? Like
pretty
not
much.
actual.
He's a big iguana.
Oh, okay.
But it makes you cry.
Sure. He has a bunch
Okay.
of babies.
It's very nice and emotional, and I like those kind of stuff.
Well,
I feel like we're getting
anyways,
off topic.
King of Monsters got me.
my opinion, unspoilered
Oh
opinion.
yeah, you have an opinion.
Yeah.
Sorry.
As a-
I'm so sorry.
No, you guys just go on your tangents. It's fine. It's fine. We get it.
You're
Nobody
still
cares.
here. I'm sorry. I forgot.
Uh-huh. My take is, as a longtime fan of Godzilla and a very big fan of the new Legendary Monsterverse, I think they're doing a very good job of creating their own deeper network and web that's not too reliant on the original Toho series. They're constructing a bigger picture, and this show does a really good job of taking what started it all with the original Godzilla 2014 show and using that as the root that then is expanded by Kong Skull Island. And it's finding a nice way of interweaving all of that together. And it's like Brandy and I both were doing kind of like the Charlie Day with the red lines, putting things together and being like, who's this and how do they relate to this person? So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I've got some pretty interesting thoughts, I think, on how the show is going to progress. And I have other thoughts on what I think worked really well for these first 2 episodes. So let's get into it. Let's start talking about our spoiler reviews.
Dun dun dun.
Bad Godzilla roar.
Try again.
One more time. Yeah.
Is he dying?
Sounded like a jackass.
I was gonna say, you sound like a
Let's hear your Kong, Tom.
Go on, Tom.
I am big monkey.
That's not what that doesn't sound like.
Yeah, no,
Kong
it's
I
doesn't
like
don't
talk.
think the monkey can talk.
Godzilla
Yeah.
talks in a few movies.
Oh god,
A
it's
movie.
bad.
It's
Yeah.
bad.
There's funny going on. You better check. Oh, yeah.
That's what he sounds like in those movies, what I was doing.
yeah.
Anyways, let's roll into our unfiltered thoughts of the show. To get us started, let's just kind of like pick up with how the movie or the show actually starts, kind of like in the setting of Kong Skull Island, where you actually have John Goodman's character, Billy Randa. And it's kind of like all of a sudden we're back at Skull Island with his character from that series of the original movie, and it's a really cool way of kind of like jumping off into the story, I think, especially with how visceral those scenes were with it, like the giant spider monsters. And then to get us kicked off, he has these Monarch video files that then he throws into the ocean. And those files get lost to sea for a couple of years and then finally found.
I will start off with, don't laugh at me, please. But I literally went like, wait, John Goodman's character is Billy Randa? I didn't
Same.
connect it. I was like, what?
I didn't connect until like halfway through episode 2.
No, I literally just connected it now when Dan said it. I was like,
You're welcome.
what?
Like, who?
Yeah, seriously, we were literally like, I had like in my notebook, I'm like drawing the lines to people like, okay, this is this person, because it kept jumping timelines. And I'm like, okay, this is this person is related to this person is related to this person. It's a whole.
Yeah, so that's why we talk about timelines, because the show happens in multiple timelines. It jumps back and forth. So the John Goodman Billy Randa is in 1973. Then the Anders Holm Billy is 1959, 1952. So you're getting the young and older version of those characters, similar to how we get the young and old versions of Shaw.
Shaw.
That's it. Shaw.
Shaw.
Lee Shaw.
Lee Shaw. Sorry.
Lafayette Shaw.
Fuck.
Third. You can call him Lee.
You can call me.
I'm sorry, but when you did
Shaw.
that, you went right back to the jackass.
Yaw.
That's exactly what you said. I'm like,
So now that you've made that connection, Lily, how did you feel?
I totally knew it all the time. Don't laugh at me. Look, I'm stupid, okay?
Don't laugh
You're
at me.
not stupid, Lily.
No.
Oh, thank
Oh.
you.
I'm not gonna laugh at you.
Yeah, I know. It was always. I loved the Kong movie, so obviously when John Goodman showed up and we started the whole series with it, I was like, yes, yes, we're back on the island. I fucking hate that the spiders in it. I hate those things. I was like, oh. But it was fun to see him again. I wish they would have done more with him. That's my only thing, like the only criticism I have, because John Goodman is an amazing actor. So I was like, well, maybe we will see him again.
Yeah, I'd like to think he comes back some more.
Yeah, hopefully. So, but yeah, it was fun to see that whole, school island setting and seeing a familiar face. It's always nice.
You get to see the big monkey, Tom. That's right. You
Big
get
monkey.
a few frames of big
I
monkey.
get a few frames of Big Monkey that were in the movie, so it's not new. But that's the only. I'm good now. I don't need anything else from this show. It's Big Monkey.
You're satisfied.
I'm satisfied. I sat down to watch it. Saw the clip. I'm like,
10 out of 10 for Tom.
Yeah.
Don't need to watch it again more. It's Big Monkey. Better than Giant Lizard. Just stands back.
I would say, shut up, Tom.
No, Big Monkey is better than Stupid Lizard. Big Monkey won that
How dare
fight.
you? How dare you? I'm going to fight you.
Said, I think all three of you want to fight me from that.
Yeah.
Back on topic without Big Monkey.
You're wrong. You're wrong. That's it.
Shut up,
Moving
Dan.
on. You're wrong.
I enjoyed seeing John Goodman again, because fucking who doesn't like John Goodman? Don't have more to add than besides just I like seeing the giant rock crab as well with the pincers. But I don't think he was in the.
He made the sound when he did that. What the fuck? Do it again.
How do you do it?
I just
Microphone. Okay.
Okay, anyway.
Crab people.
I'm friends with Ezra. But yeah, I again like seeing Konska Island again. I hope there'd be more Big Monkey, but because it was just in the stills, I don't think there'll be any more Big Monkey. But I'm satisfied.
You never know.
I do.
Yeah, I like the fact that it was like tying all those movies, like that storyline together. Like it was really cool to see that bit and like how those tapes got in the water and found and all that. That was really cool.
It's a sturdy bag though. Like,
it was a very sturdy bag.
Like it was sitting in seawater for like decades. Like,
Yeah.
Don't make them like they used to anymore.
Nope.
Today that would have degraded.
Mm-hmm. That was quite the bag. Like Monarch's got some serious bag technology.
Mm-hmm.
They got some serious baggage.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of tying together, later after that we get the future scene that we start off with the character of Kate, played by Anna Sawai. That's right. I'm going to roll with it. So yeah, we find out that she is in the year 2015. It's roughly a year after the events of the San Francisco incident with Godzilla fighting the Mutos. And we get these really cool like flashback moments of her on the bridge, which as a big fan of that movie, as a big fan of that whole event, like that was fucking cool. I was really thrilled with this, like going back to that moment and like re-experiencing that scene of Godzilla smashing through the San Francisco bridge from another perspective. And it was brutal too. Like,
it was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to help these kids off a bus and Godzilla roars in her face and she's just like in shock. And then the bus falls, still with kids in it.
Yeah, fuck them kids.
Like,
That was shocking.
Bye, kids.
Yeah, it makes you really start to think about like the scale coming down to the ground with the people and like how many people actually fucking die during that event, because otherwise you're seeing it from the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're having scenes and bits that you're familiar with, easing you into this new content with new characters. And I think that's really clever in the way that they structure the show and put it together.
And it also makes sense for Kate's character. Like, I think that the way they showed it, like later on when they have that whole alert for Godzilla coming is like, it makes sense that she starts panicking like almost instantly. Like, I don't want to live through this again.
Yeah.
So, I was like, okay. I like that these characters, because I'm going to be 100% honest. Like, in the movie, some of the characters are just very flat, and here I like that they already are doing so much more with them. Because if we're going to focus more on the people that are in the midst of all this, then we need to kind of feel for them and in one way or another. So I'm already like on board with all of these characters. So that's already a huge win, because I think since it's a series and not a movie, and although even like now we're getting a bigger budget for TV shows, I still think that a lot of times like that means that it's they're not gonna put as many monsters in there as we hope for.
The production quality is pretty damn good, though.
It's really good.
Hell yeah, it is amazing.
Like those new shots of Godzilla did look really cool.
Yeah, like you can tell
so
they're not
beautiful.
quite up to par, but they're still pretty damn good for a TV show.
If you're just like, if you're not paying, like you're not like hyper focusing, it looks the same.
Yeah,
it's
it's hard
only
to
like you
tell.
look like that one like scale is like not as defined or something like
True.
that.
Yeah.
And I like that you shouted out with Kate, because then it's obvious that she has PTSD from what she experienced with and it just makes it so visceral in the way you
and
feel
so
for
human.
her.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're doing a good job of giving a human story, as like you mentioned, Lily, as opposed to the movies who were like, I think that was kind of on purpose in the original movie where the humans were very flat to kind of emphasize the ending of Godzilla 2014. To make it much bigger, be like, I don't care about the people, because think about it, how many millions of people died, but we don't care because big monsters, fighting.
Yeah, but if you're gonna focus in your movie on the people, then you kind of have to make them a little bit more interesting.
I mean, of course they had Bryan Cranston's character, which was amazing, and then you got like flat nothing characters for the rest of the movie. Yeah. It is what it is.
I just want to jump on the characters thing. Fuck the half brother. I do not like him. He's a
Kentaro?
He's
How dare you? No,
like
he's just confused. Like he just found out that his dad was a cheating fucking asshole with another family in another place.
He takes it all out on Kate and triggers the PTSD as well. Pretty much, he's like, "Oh, what if Dad was here? Then she wouldn't have died. It's all your fault." It's like, fuck off, cunt. Like, Jesus Christ. And then like he's just bitching and moaning the entire time. I'm like, bruh, at least like she's maybe like trying to do something, I'm trying to move on. You're just stuck because, oh no, my daddy didn't love me enough.
You're so mean. Like, fuck off, Tom.
No, but in dialing back, I didn't really dig his character, at least the first episode, when he was just like so narrow-minded, like, no, my dad is great. He's not your dad. You're lying. It's like, bitch, why would she fucking lie?
Wouldn't you think the same? If suddenly a person showed up and be like, "Oh, your father is my father,"
yeah, you'd be pissed off.
You'd be pissed off, but then I wouldn't like be like, haha, fuck you, PTSD. It's all your fault that he's dead. It's like,
he doesn't know that she has PTSD.
Yeah, but he was still a dick about it.
You would be a dick about it too, for fuck's sake. No one goes, I have a half sister and my dad was cheating on my mom first.
I do love the fact that his mom was very much like caring for her, even though like
great. Yeah.
Even though like
her mom was cool.
She
just embraced her anyways.
Shit, but like whatever, like this girl needed her, so she stepped up, and that was awesome.
I want to get on that and shout out Kentaro's mom too, because she was like the most.
It was a real one.
Untypical Japanese mother I've ever seen in any kind of media. Like just way more dynamic than I expected her. I expect her to be a really flat character that's just kind of there as background, but she actually had a lot to do with things, and she adds a lot of dynamic to the whole situation and the family drama.
Yeah.
Drama llama.
German.
I like when she helped calm Kate down with the PTSD as well. Like she's like, I gotta go. It's just like, no. Hug.
Hug. Monkey hug.
Monkey hug.
They give you a monkey hug.
Monkey hug.
The show starts to go back in time again. It starts to jump around a bunch. So we go back and we see the 1952 versions, or no, this is 1959. It starts off in 1959 with young Bill Randa, which is John Goodman's character when he's younger.
I know that. Thank you.
So you know, Lily, just so you know. FYI.
Drawing the line.
We also
Rubbing
have
the salt in that wound.
Keiko Randa, and we have Leisha. I say Keiko Randa. I don't know if they ever confirmed that her name. That was kind of like an assumption based on how I see the story playing out. And we meet Lee, and then we see them going on this kind of like some sort of investigation or expedition where they're tracking radiation, and then very in line with some of the movies, they get there and the radiation is gone, which assumingly is because they find a nest full of mutos and they're eating
it.
Yeah, they're sucking up all that radiation. And then, of course, in typical fashion, they're like, we got to go down there. And we get
to in there.
It's always bad news.
Yeah.
There's actually a great line in that part where they go down and then like Billy is like, what do you see? And he's like, the same thing as you, but farther away.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. That I thought was a really interesting scene. And I was starting to like get to this point of like, oh, are those like the same mutos from the movie? Because the little egg sacs look kind of similar, which we then learn very quickly they're not. And they're kind of like bug, insect, cockroach monsters.
Beetle thing with jiggies.
Disgusting blood.
They look like roaches.
Yeah. They kind of look like big roaches. And we learn a little bit more of the dynamics. We learn all about the dynamics of these characters, including Wyatt Russell playing the young Shaw and establishing his role as a lieutenant. And he's escorting these two scientists essentially in the early. Yeah. What does he call them? The
eggheads.
No, there's like the military term, the scrubs or something like he calls them.
I don't know.
I don't know military talk.
Yeah. But it's basically, this is the early formings of Monarch back in the early 50s. And then, of course, things go kind of terribly wrong, as you might expect. So I actually I'll get to this later, but the fact that the episode ended on such like a intense kind of cliffhanger moment, it was like, oh, wasn't seeing that coming. I'm want you guys to jump in here and tell me your feelings and thoughts on that part of the show.
I will say that I would have chosen Show. Just putting it out there. It's like, girl.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Look, sometimes I'm focusing on the wrong things.
She didn't know he was a Russell.
That's like,
well, even then, like, she could have done so much better. Sure. Yeah.
See,
like, I like,
so it's true.
I like John Goodman, like older, but like he looked like a fucking loser.
I know. I was like, what? Like, you know, what are you doing?
Way to judge a book by its cover. God.
Yeah, I made a snap decision based on his first looks.
Which is what Keiko did to Shaw when they met.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
Nah. We all tying it together. Done. But I think, especially in the first episode, no, not true, because in the second one as well. I for now I enjoy the pest storyline a bit more, just a tiny bit more. Like, you know, because it's like a criticism to everything, not just to this show. But I always found it incredibly irritating that whenever there's like a secret organization, people just get to it too quickly. Like, you know, the way Kate and Dari find their father's lost files, and she immediately figures out the safe codes, and then they obviously have a friend who can crack up the whole old ass fucking.
It's all a little too convenient.
And I'm like, slow down. Like, you know, I know we're rushing because we only have 10 episodes, but it's it's always a tiny bit of annoying for me. Like, just put it back a little. It's not that quick, especially when we're talking about a government close organization. It's not going to be like done. Now you crack the code, you have everything. So I think that's why I'm leaning more towards the past events of how they all figured out that monsters exist and whatever, and how Monarch came to be. So for now, I am definitely enjoying that storyline and a tad bit more.
The past timeline also has 100% more monsters in it.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, we don't see any monsters really in the present.
No, we're
we'll
not
call
there
the
yet.
present.
Yeah.
Unless you count humans as monsters, Dan.
Of course.
Because it's all about them.
The monster called Tim.
True.
I like Tim. I kind of like Tim. I feel like he's just trying to do his job.
Nah,
He gets a phone
No.
thrown in his face. Like,
No,
Didn't like his vibes.
he's doing something underhanded. Like
I
he's
feel like
yeah,
10 years earlier, he'd be on Catch a Predator.
yeah, 100%.
Mm.
My name is Tim.
But I just want to jump in on the two storylines, the past and the present. I agree with it. I also did enjoy the past. Actually, a tiny bit more. But what annoyed me is they obviously showed the end of the past storyline first. Because...
Yes.
because
she fucking died.
She fucking died.
This is what I was leading up to, too, is watching Keiko die.
Yeah.
No, she's dead.
She's
dead.
She's dead.
Even from the fall, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
And like, if you fall, get knocked out even, you get nom-nommed by these weird cockroaches.
They broke her fall.
No.
Yeah, broke their fall, and then they ate her.
Yes.
There's always that little like wiggle room in sci-fi where the creatures end up carrying the person back and they put them in like a cocoon and then they find them later and they can break them out. And it's like, all right, sure, they should have been dead, but all right, we found them. Cool.
But these are the babies. If it was a bunch of adults, yes, but this is little babies who are just like, we want food.
We just hatched and they are
hungry. She was literally, she didn't fall. She just disintegrated into the pile of cockroaches.
Yeah.
So she's dead. Let's be fair.
Yeah,
that's the end of her.
I see, because like I would have been completely fine if the flashback, jumping ahead of myself, flashback from episode 2 was episode 1, still have a massive cliffhanger at the end, and then this one is like maybe episodes 5 or 6, and then you can sort of tie everything together then.
I think because they even mentioned it that what's the dad's name? Kate and Kentari's dad.
Hiroshi.
Hiroshi. Sorry, yes. So they even mentioned that Hiroshi's mom died when she was young, as they are looking at the picture of her standing in that big footprint, and then we get the flashback of her actually dying. So I think they actually like connected it, like they're not keeping it in the dark. Like, oh, she lived a happy long life. She's
I understand. Like they teed it up. But it's just, that's a thing for me where I because now it just feels like this unnecessary jumping back and forth. And to me, that's something that annoys me a lot. Just like when you, but that is very much just a me thing in my monkey brain.
In the beginning, like I was struggling a little bit with the jumping, but after I connected the dots of who was who, and like, Billy and Keiko are Kate's grandparents and just connecting all the dots, I was like, okay, it makes sense now, and like how things happened. But I mean, I can understand how it's like jolting a little bit.
Any show that typically has any kind of jumping timelines is usually a little disorientating and can be a little rough. Like I generally don't like that too much in shows, but I think they're doing a pretty good job in this one, especially where it's very obvious when they time switch. So it's like, okay, we know we're in 1952 right now. We know we're in 2015. Like it's very easy to tell. It's not like when you watch Lost and you all of a sudden you're in a flashback and you have no idea what year it is, and we're like, oh great, I'm lost watching Lost. Fuck the show.
True.
So I think they did a good job with the time jumping, and then it really comes together nicely as it starts putting together a lot of the connections with the characters, and then when the 2015 kids meet up with the future Shaw, and you we finally get the Kurt Russell towards the end of the second episode, and he's like he's still just as kind of like spry, and he's still a bit of an asshole, and it's like, all right, cool. Like he's maintaining that character, even 40, 50 years later, however long this is at this point, depending on which timeline you're looking at.
Thought, what if Randa isn't the actual father?
I had thought about that.
What if Keiko got it on with Shaw and then just lied?
Oh, then I like her.
Mhm.
Because like they had chemistry at the beginning when they were in the Jeep.
Yep.
And then then they had the big fight, and then yeah,
but then like there were also implications in the first episode, like the way she was looking at her. I was like,
There was
Yeah.
a point too when the Kentaro was looking at Kate, and he was saying that she doesn't look like their dad. So it's like,
true. Yeah.
Okay. Like,
Yeah, but Hiroshi is their dad.
Yeah.
Shaw would have been the grandfather.
The grandfather. Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So
Very
he
true.
could potentially be Hiroshi's.
Oh, I would like that twist. That Shaw is the granddad in reality.
He's everyone's
Ooh.
dad, except for May. May is very adamant that she's not part of the family drama bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Not her family.
I like May. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah.
May
she
is
is a
great.
super convenient character, but she definitely adds an extra level of like sass and spice to
Oh yeah,
everything.
she's super sassy and I like it.
And she's smart as hell. I was like, okay.
Yeah,
That's how you
I
do
want to
it.
know her backstory. Like, I hope we get
think
more
we're
of her
gonna get it,
backstory because
Yeah.
it's like she's got this bag of like all this cash and passports, and I'm like,
She's
who
a
the
spy.
hell? Yeah,
I'd be okay if we didn't get her backstory. I
Yeah.
think if she just does cool shit, and,
Keep it a mystery.
Yeah, just be like, hey, there's enough Easter eggs if you want to try and link it back to something. If not,
Or
She
she's
has no
just gonna have like a throwaway line of like, oh, I just watched too many movies.
I need more of that cab driver in the beginning that was talking about how he
the
thinks all
podcast.
San
Oh, yeah.
Francisco is a cover up. It was all CGI. And he's like, I got a
How he
podcast.
yeah, he's got a podcast.
Shout
We
out to
should
my
bring him on the show.
podcast.
I bet he said the same thing about the moon landing.
you want to come on my
Yeah.
podcast?
On my podcast.
On
On
my
my
podcast.
podcast.
Dan,
But anyways-
hook it up.
Hook it. I got it. We'll get that. We'll make that connection. We'll collaborate.
Collaboration.
Yeah.
So like I feel like the 2015 storyline in the second episode it's kind of like a slow burn. You get that like, okay, things are just kind of clicking, they're just kind of happening, kind of like Lily pointed out, that it's all happening a little bit very conveniently, but it works out.
Yeah.
Especially when they meet up with present day Shaw. But I liked how it started to go back to the 1952 timeline, and things are escalating, and you get the USS Lawton, and you start seeing like, oh, okay, so this is Shaw's ship that he was on.
Not
And
Shaw.
Not Shaw,
Randa.
right? Randa.
Names.
And yeah,
How
we'll get
dare
him.
you confuse them? Jesus Christ.
John Goodman.
There you go.
Let's
He-
just
not yet,
draw a
though.
diagram on
But
the screen.
he gets really deep into explaining how like he came up with these theories, and how he listens to people's stories, he listens to legends and tales, and he uses that as his driving force to look into these mysteries. And then of course his ship during World War II got attacked, and he was the only survivor, and then they find his ship in the middle of the jungle for whatever reason, 2,000 miles away from where it was supposed to be, in the ocean. I was fully expecting, because the whole episode felt kind of slow. There was a lot of establishing information. And throughout episode 2, I was thinking, this is an episode 2 in a nutshell. It's a lot of establishing. It's a lot of building up information and setting up plot points. But thankfully, I very much appreciate this. The ending of that episode was really good. And I'm really glad that they had a nice crescendo of action at the end of that with the dragon.
That was creepy. Just going through that ship and like the dripping
The slime.
mucus.
It seemed to. I was confused. Like the dragon thing was like really big. How did it get inside to make all the slime?
Exactly.
This-
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
was
was like in this tiny corridor covered in slime. Big dragon?
It's
Like, Unless it just like tongued the
it
ship.
has
then,
an
like,
appendage. I'm sure.
Brandy,
You
no,
can insert.
what are you Brandy, what are you
what are you talking
what are you
about?
talking about there, Brandy?
what episode were you watching?
Yeah, I think you might. Were you on Apple TV or Pornhub.com?
But yeah, it's too big to be in the ship.
Monster
So
hot dog.
it's
That's what she said.
something has to get in the ship with the slime.
Maybe he was just drooling on it from on top of the ship. Like, I smell people.
It was an enclosed corridor as well. So I'm not just
Let's not
Oh, you just
question
got too excited.
the little detail.
Do you need a minute?
It was some ship action.
Some dragon ship action. Oh, that's a new tag.
Ooh. I want the website.
I like this one.
Brandy's tuning in for that dragon appendage.
Extra $5.99 for the uncensored version.
I mean, there were holes in the ship. What made the hole?
Big holes as well.
Claws.
Some of those holes were bigger than the dragon, though.
Ooh.
So you're saying he's a grower, not a shower?
Yes.
Yes.
Someone went nuts on that ship.
Mm.
Yeah. I wanted to reiterate before the dragon appendages that I appreciate the show's ability to create tension at the end of both episodes. And I hope they continue to do that throughout the series, because I think that does a lot for the show to give us something to like go out on a high note and not just have like a very like just middle of the road episode of not really anything happening. I need my monster action. I need all my pirates.
Jesus Christ.
Monsterhub.com. We have to make it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monster Hub.
Done.
Monster action.
Get that dirty, deep, hot monster action the way you like it.
Now
Starring
thinking
Vin
back
Diesel.
about it, yes, please. Oh my god, I would love Vin Diesel in this. At the beginning of
About the
episode
family.
1, they talk about how Shaw doesn't want any kids, and that was very suspicious, Zog, because he kept looking at it.
Keiko. Which is why then probably be like,
yeah.
back, he's the father.
I can't it's like, oh, I thought you had a different opinion. I'm like,
Well, Brandy and I were talking about that same thing too, because in the beginning with John Goodman, when he's recording himself to the camera, he says, "I'm sorry about what I took away from you," and we're assuming that message was meant for Shaw.
sure, yeah.
And he's referring to Keiko, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Very possibly.
Ooh,
That's what I think, anyway.
I like that.
Anyways, all very good. I'm pretty excited about what the show is leading up to. We got some pretty fun episodes. Like there never felt like there was any kind of real low points other than some of the scenes in the second episode where it was kind of like dragging a little bit, but it all works out for the overall.
I didn't feel that though, but
I have one for you where I was like, wait, what the fuck? So obviously Monarch gets, the files get through and they are already like, oh my god, what's happening? How the fuck did Tim end up in Japan that fucking quickly?
True.
How?
I thought about that too. I'm like, wait, how many days have gone by? How quickly did he go from wherever he was to Japan to find?
How did he know that he has to look for Kate?
True. And especially when the original message was, it's somewhere in Tokyo, and then he knows exactly where to go.
And who to look for. I was like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah,
We'll
that part, yeah, we'll have to, yeah. Hopefully they go into more of that. I didn't even think about that.
They're fudging some information there and just saying, like, yeah, that's how it worked. That's fine. But, maybe they give us a little bit more information about how he tracked them down and was able to fine tune their search for them somehow.
Yeah, because they all said, general area.
There was that moment in Kentaro and his mother's apartment where he saw the picture of their father and he went, oh shit. He knew exactly who that was. So,
but he wouldn't have known that beforehand though. So yeah,
true.
I don't know how you did that.
And there's also the underlying factor that it seems like him and his associate there are trying to stop something or intervene on something before it goes up the chain in Monarch.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're being a bit underhanded.
Yes.
And a little suspicious.
Also, I don't know. It made sense and then it didn't make sense. Like, why is Kate all of a sudden protecting all these files and everything when she was basically, she was basically done with her father and everything related to him. I was like, so like, why? What is the resistance for?
I mean,
I think it was the Monarch factor.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah,
they said.
probably.
They said not in trouble yet.
Yeah.
And I think that she said that, so she's like, yeah, but like if I give it to you, you still might just be like, prison.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the part
Yeah.
where when they uncovered the files and the Kentaro's like, what the hell is Monarch? And then Kate kind of opens up like they were there. They were at San Francisco. They were expecting it. So I think that's the ultimate, like, it becomes just so compelling for her to learn more and find out what the fuck happened.
And the fact that she sees her grandmother in a Monarch picture on the file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
She probably
So
wants
now-
to know what happened to her father at that point.
Yeah, and at this point now we're ended with they're going to go look for Hiroshi because present day Shaw was like, is he really dead though? As far as you know, the plane crashed, but they never found a body. So typical cover up kind of shenanigans.
It didn't even crash. It just disappeared.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that all being said, let's move on to our episode ratings. Which there was 2 episodes. Do we do it by episode? Do we want to score each episode or do it both of them as one score?
Treat as one big one.
Yeah,
One big
one
one.
big one.
It was one big
One
one.
big one that would fit into a ship.
In a
Yes.
ship. The big one, like the dragon.
Through a nice
Mhm.
big hole.
Tom,
Big dragon.
Big
Big
dragon.
dragon.
what is your big dragon? I
Big
mean,
dragon.
episode
Big
rating.
dragon, these nuts. Yeah.
He high-fived himself. Oh, I love it.
These nuts.
Thank you for making a reference to 2005.
Taking both episodes into account, I'd probably give it an 8. I enjoyed it, but it didn't do anything excellent. Like it was like, I'm having a fun time. I'm engaged, but like, I'm not going, holy shit yet, which I'm hoping that's what happens later on. But yeah, so I think right now, like 7, maybe 8 or 7 in that ballpark of where it's like, I'll keep watching this, but like, I'm not like blown away, except for the beginning with Big Monkey. But that's a separate thing.
But the scene from a movie that you've already seen several years ago.
What can I say? I like monkeys.
Dumb.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, well, this is not a problem because I got it. I got a big monkey.
Monkey lover.
The man was too stunned to speak from Big
Yeah.
Monkey.
Big monkey.
monkey.
Well, it has 2 Russells, not just one, so it's already a win.
Times
That's
2.
fair. Times 2. I like the characters so far. I like the story so far. Wyatt and Kurt are the best, just putting it out there again. So I give it an 8 for starters, because I really did enjoy it. Like, even if there were some logical problems in storytelling, but like, we're going to get past that. If they explain it, especially like how Tim found them so quickly, I'm going to be happy, like, because otherwise it's like, what the fuck? You can just teleport with them.
Explain!
Secret agency.
Yeah, so I would give it a solid 8. More Kurt Russell for, the future episodes, please, because he's fucking great, and I want to see more Kurt
He's
Russell.
going to die like Bryan Cranston.
Well,
Don't
he
you
left
say
at 3
that.
at least.
Shut up, then. Shut up.
Shut
He
up.
left at 3 at least. Like
off.
the preview pictures, Kurt Russell with like goggles.
That's right.
Yes,
Yes.
he's gonna live. It's Kurt Russell, so shut up.
Yeah. I'm going to give it an 8.5 because we got some big lizard and
That's
it
true.
was just wow.
Beautiful.
And big dragon.
Dragon nuts.
I know.
I know what I'm
We
getting
know you
Brandy
love-
for Christmas.
Dragon nuts?
Big dragon.
Dragon appendage?
I'm concerned now.
Shh, you're going to spoil the surprise.
It wasn't a surprise.
I know.
No, it was good. Like, I was really engaged the entire time. So like I I'm ready for the next episode already. So I'm pretty excited.
And we're getting it early.
I think they're doing a good job.
Mhm.
So I'm very happy with it.
I do hope that they're not going to bring down the time on episodes anymore,
Yeah.
because they already made like a downgrade from episode 1, which was 53 minutes, and then episode 2 was like 45 or something like that, and I was like,
So-
wait, bring it back.
Simmer down.
Simmer down, boy. Simmer down.
Yeah, hopefully they stick
It's
around the
10 episodes.
45-minute mark or more.
Yeah. Just don't go under 45. That's like, we know that means the rushing thing, so it's like no.
Because we
Yeah.
haven't had any of those rushed endings before.
Never.
Never,
Be
Disney.
Yeah, so my rating on the episode is, I was leaning around like an 8 for the most part. And I was like, okay, this is great. I'm enjoying the characters. I want to shout out the 2015 cast. Like, I actually really like the diversity going on there. I like the characters. I like the fact that it's taking place in Japan. You've got Japanese actors in Japanese settings in Tokyo, and it's very authentic. And it's kind of going back to the roots of where Godzilla started, being a Japanese property coming out of Japan. And I very much appreciate that and the cultural diversity that it's bringing to an otherwise overly whitewashed, experience that we typically get with television. So I'm really happy for that. Kurt Russell is great in it. Wyatt Russell is great in it. Everyone else so far I've been enjoying, even the actor that plays the young Billy. I think he's doing pretty good. Like, he's a doofball.
I mean, he's dorky, yeah. But I
he
think
plays
he's
it really
supposed to be
well.
dorky.
Like, he's doing his job really well and just makes everyone think that, damn, what a loser. Nothing against the actor. He's doing a good job.
He's great.
Yeah. But I was going to say that going through episode 2, that's where my mindset was like, okay, this feels like an 8 for me, especially because I expected it to just kind of end on like not anything big, just like more information, or like the big dramatic climax was going to be more focused on the Monarch 2015 timeline. But the fact that it went back into the past, it went to that ship scene, we got that big climax with the dragon almost ripping them apart and then almost dropping the ship on them, and then that closing line from Shaw, just like, oh my god, it is a dragon. Like, that just did it for me, and that actually pushes me up into a 9 for this. It's a generous 9, but just I enjoyed the sweet monster action.
You enjoyed the dragon climax.
So I did.
Yep.
I very much enjoyed the dragon climax.
Yeah, phrasing.
That's right.
So sorry.
Phrasing. Are we not using phrasing anymore?
Hang on.
What?
Question.
What?
Are we not saying phrasing anymore?
Anyone else want to talk about, take like in dragon climaxing right now?
No, I was like, is anybody else got any more? Do you want to keep going with that bit? Want to bury that one into the ground?
Ew, stop it.
All right.
Bury the dragons climaxing.
Anyways, I'm very much excited to look forward to the future episodes. Next week's episode will be on a Wednesday, which is going to shift some things around, but I'm assuming the show is still going to continue happening on Fridays. So expect our next episode to be on a different day as well. It's hard to say exactly because of the shifting schedules. But yeah, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm ready to consume all the Godzilla content. Not to mention, we've got Godzilla -1 coming in a few weeks. Brandy and I are seeing that day 1 for sure. We'll talk about -1 most likely on the podcast at some point. Very, very excited. But yeah, we've got a few other guests lined up to join us for this show and talk all the things Kaiju and monsters and Monsterverse going forward. So stay tuned to Couch Soup as we unravel the mystery, and listen to us each week on YouTube and wherever you listen to podcasts. Godzilla noise. Good night. My jackass sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm Godzilla, see?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I can see he's nuts.
Is he coming at your face?
He's coming. Show us Godzilla's nuts.
Hello, nuts.
Wow.
See?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no.
Get there.
Google.
Google is the fun place.
You can find Godzilla nuts and dragon appendages for all your heart's content.